Jordan Fabian is in Washington. He's a White House correspondent for The Hill. Jordan, thanks for joining us. On healthcare, we heard Press Secretary Sean Spicer today say they'll get reform done when they have the votes, obviously. But are they even close? And might this just really tee up future negotiations to get a full repeal and replacement of Obamacare?
Right now, they're not close, Errol. There's some changes being floated around, though, on Capitol Hill in an effort to get to that 216 votes that Sean Spicer was talking about. There's Mark Meadows, the head of the conservative House Freedom Caucus, and Congressman MacArthur from New Jersey, the head of the Centrist Tuesday group, and they've been exchanging a compromise proposal. A latest draft of that came out today, but lawmakers are still coming back to Washington from their 2-week Easter recess, and they still have time. Need to have time to go over that proposal. So it's not clear whether that is going to be the breakthrough that President Trump is hoping for.
Yeah, it's just one of the many big question marks of the week. The other, of course, relates to the president's outline of his tax reform principles, this expected for Wednesday. What then is the appetite among Republicans to get this done before the weekend?
Well, getting tax reform done before the weekend is a tall proposal, and it's not going to happen. What President Trump is going to do, though, on Wednesday is roll out some principles for tax reform that he wants to see Congress act on. Reports today indicate that he's going to ask for a 15% corporate tax rate, which would be a significant cut. But the problem is that the proposal that Trump is rolling out might be significantly different from what Republicans like Speaker Paul Ryan want, especially on this border adjusted tax, which House Republicans want to use to pay for the tax cuts. Sean Spicer indicated today, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said that the tax cut proposal that President Trump is proposing might not even be paid for, that they're expecting the economic growth will help close that deficit hole that it could blow. So some significant differences there, and it's going to take much longer than a week to work those out.
And when it comes to the budget plan, which must be agreed upon before the weekend, does the border wall really represent the biggest obstacle in getting Congress to approve a plan? It appears to be the major sticking point. Does President Trump really expect Democrats to support major funding for a wall?
Well, the White House has jumped in and they're asking for that funding, but it's not clear whether President Trump would veto a spending bill that doesn't include that money. We've asked him multiple times. We asked Sean Spicer today in his daily press briefing, and they won't commit to that. So right now, what we're looking at is probably a 1-week stopgap spending bill to keep the government open while the White House and Congress work out these differences on the border wall. I talked to a senior congressional aide today on the Republican side who said they think the deal is close, but yes, the border wall is still a sticking point, and money for these Obamacare insurance premium subsidies that the White House might be holding up, in addition to increased military spending. So there's still a few major issues to iron out there, and it looks like lawmakers are going to need a little more time to get a deal done.
And more broadly, the White House, or we should say President Trump, took the position through some tweets that this 100-day mark is really an artificial number. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, he's planning this rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday to tout his accomplishments. Press Secretary Sean Spicer today saying it's been an unbelievably significant, hugely successful first 100 days. Which is true? How is the administration spinning it? And can they say to their Republican counterparts in Congress that they have a plan that works and that President Trump should continue to have political leverage, so to speak?
What is true is that this White House does care about the 100-day mark, and that's why you're seeing all this activity this week. The fact is that President Trump is in danger of exiting his first 100 days in office without a major legislative accomplishment. So he's trying desperately to get either funding for the border wall, a vote on health care, rolling out tax reform in an effort to get that started. So yes, they do care about this. The President Trump is a president who cares about media coverage. He knows the media is talking about the 100-day mark, and he desperately wants to get a big win. So that's what the White House is focused on this week. We'll see if they get one.
And just from your sense, does President Trump beyond this 100-day mark, still enjoy a lot of political capital among Republicans? Are they convinced by his statements?
It's difficult to say how much political capital he has, really. The Republicans on Capitol Hill are still listening to him. But look, this is a president whose approval ratings are in the 40s to mid 30s. It's quite low for a president this early in his first term. And Republican leaders like Mitch McConnell have been warning their colleagues that the midterm elections next year could be tough, and they might need to distance themselves, members who are running in competitive races for President Trump, in order to keep their seats. So that's a sign that the president might not have as much political capital as he thinks he has.
All right, we'll see how things change in the future. Jordan Fabian with The Hill, speaking to us from our D.C. bureau. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.